up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My dogs are here. What's up? It's a family affair right now. It is like 9:30 at night. I've been trying to film this video all day long, but you know, I got 2 young kids, so that just did not work out. You know, everything was kind of going against the schedule. So, finally sitting down. I got my drink. You should get one too. This is not alcoholic, by the way. This is Dole. What is this? Banana strawberry orange mixed with Sprite. It's delicious. Nate is out of town. I've been on my own for, let's see, a little over 2 weeks now with a little break in between, but I've been on my own for a while now. I'm exhausted. Mama needs a break, so it's been a long day. Okay, so I asked for some questions in my last video and I got like, I don't know, 2 people that left me questions, which if you guys left me a question, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. So I'm gonna go through and answer them now for you guys. So the first question is, what profession did you have before becoming a mom? You would make a lovely primary school teacher. That is super sweet. So actually, I had my son when I was, I think like 22. So I went to college. At first I wanted to be a graphic designer, which I think I actually would have been really good at that job. I had a super big passion for that when I was in high school. I loved it so much, and I still really like doing things like that. Honestly, like editing videos and things like that is very similar to me. I'm a very creative person, so I think I definitely would have thrived in that. But honestly, my first semester, I took graphic design 1 and my teacher was just not great. He was very lackluster, I should say. He was a really nice guy, but just not super exciting, and honestly, it kind of dulled my passion for graphic design. It just made me kind of rethink things. So I did actually take a semester for early childhood education as well. I changed my mind and decided that I wanted to do preschool or kindergarten teaching. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because that's definitely what I was going for my second time around. But after I took 1 class of early childhood education, and I remember it was like the 3rd or 4th class. She walked in and she was like, hey, so let's talk about like what your chances are of becoming a teacher, like a preschool teacher or kindergarten teacher, and also let's talk about what your salary would be. Like your max salary that you will ever make as a preschool teacher will be like, I can't even remember what she said, like 30 or 40 grand or something. And I was just like, okay, I mean, I have a super big passion for this. I love children, but at the time I was nannying and I was like, well, I'm like making that now. So honestly, it made me question like if I wanted to go through school for 4 more years and get into a ton of debt only to make that much money. And I understand that obviously, sorry. And I understand that obviously if you love kids and you love teaching, that's totally worth it and that's great. But I guess to me in my head, I just couldn't justify, like I didn't want to get myself into a ton of debt if I wasn't going to be able to pay off that debt anytime soon, if I was only going to make 40 grand a year. I know that might sound shallow and bad, but that's the truth. So I actually continued to nanny and I made really good money nannying. And then after I had my son, I decided to continue nannying and found a family that allowed me to bring him with me so that I could make money and also not have to put him in daycare and pay for daycare, because daycare is extremely expensive, as you guys probably know if you guys have kids. And on top of it, I really wanted to be able to raise my son, but we could not afford for me to be a stay-at-home mom at that time because we were so young. So yeah, I nannied, and I actually nannied all the way up until I was about, I think like 36 weeks pregnant with Emmy. I stopped nannying right before Christmas of 2019, and I had her January 18th of 2020. So it was about a month before my due date. I originally wanted to work up until about 38 weeks, but the family actually that I was working for at the time didn't need me for Christmas break. So by the time I would have came back, it would have been like January 5th. And that was just way too close to my due date. I was so done. I was so exhausted. They had 3 kids, and then I brought my son Bowden, and I was like extremely pregnant. So it was 4 kids under the age of 5, and then I was super pregnant. So I was exhausted by the end, and I was totally ready to be done by December. So that's what I did for work before I had my son. And also, I guess, before I became a stay-at-home mom. How are you feeling after a gazillion months in quarantine? That's a great question. I'm exhausted, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, okay, let me be real. So let me back up. The beginning of quarantine was so hard because of everything I was going through mentally after my surgery, and I was not good. I really want to make a video about like how I was emotionally and mentally throughout that whole experience of my surgery and whatever. But anyway, besides the point, the beginning of quarantine was very, very difficult. The last few months have been okay because it's been warm here. So we've been able to go outside a lot, go on walks, go everywhere. Our parks opened back up, which was great. Our splash pads opened back up here, which was great. So there was a ton to do outside. Bowden started school again, so he's getting socialization there, which is really good for him. So all in all, we're doing pretty good, but I will say I'm very, very nervous for the fall and for the winter. I feel like you're gonna lick my face. Are you gonna lick my face? He's getting so close to me. I am very, very nervous for the fall and winter to come because everything here, of course, is still shut down inside. Libraries are closed down, play places, all of like the indoor things for kids to do is closed. So I'm really worried about how we're gonna get through the winter here if things keep staying shut down. I will say too, I'm very sad because Emmy's first birthday is in January, and I know it's more for like the parents than the baby. Obviously she doesn't know and she's not gonna remember, but you know, it's a big milestone, your first birthday. So we don't have a very big house, and it's not like conducive for hosting parties. It's just kind of like closed off. It's not a very big like open concept space. So it makes it really difficult if you want to have more than like 6 people here. So I was planning on renting like a place, of course, like a space to host all our friends and family. And obviously right now nobody is accepting like rentals. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Hopefully we can still find a way to celebrate. See, I told you you were gonna like my face. Hopefully we can still find a way to celebrate her first birthday, but yeah. So quarantine's going okay, thank God, but we'll see how it goes from here. How is being a mommy of 2? I love it. I feel like the transition for me from 0 to 1 kids was a lot harder than 1 to 2. I also think honestly, being a nanny before this, I mean, the most kids I ever took care of was 4 plus my own, so 5. And then the last position before I had Emmy, I had 3 kids plus Bowden, so 4. I'm pretty used to a bunch of kids, so I feel like it wasn't that difficult for me. I was really worried about jealousy between Bowden and Emmy because Bowden has always been a very, like a mama's boy, just a very, not very clingy, but like he just, I don't know, he's just soft-spoken, he's very shy, and he's always kind of stuck with me. So I was very nervous about introducing a baby and, you know, jealousy issues and stuff, and he did totally fine. Although I will say with her starting to crawl now, she's starting to touch his toys and his things, and that's getting a little bit more difficult. And he's getting a little bit jealous. Like if I'm like, come on, like taking a video of her crawling, he's like, wait, watch me crawl too, mom. So I think being a mom of 2 is great. It's perfect. I love that Bowden has a playmate, and yeah, I'm loving it. Are you fully recovered after Emmy's birth? You're amazing for all that you endured. That's so sweet. Yes and no. Again, I want to kind of put that in my next video, but I'm recovered, but I'm also like I'm not back to normal how I was before I had Emmy, and I never will be. So I will say I'm back, like I'm in my new normal, if I guess I could say. I'm still having pains every now and then that we still haven't figured out what is going on with that. But other than that, I'm pretty much back to normal. I feel okay. I can do everything that I did before physically. So yeah, I'm back to normal, but the new normal. What does your husband do for work? So actually, it's kind of hard to explain, and I feel like I always mess it up every time I explain or I try to explain it. So Nate, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I'll do my best to explain it. So he is in restoration. So he basically deals with like fires, floods, I don't know, mold, mildew, all those things. If your house floods or burns down, His company is the one to show up. They also deal with hurricanes, so you know, they're down in Louisiana right now dealing with hurricane aftermath cleanup. He is in a management position and he deals with large loss and estimating and things like that. And that's all I'm gonna go into about that, because again, I really don't know the exact details. So that's all I know. That's what he does. I hope that explains it well. Sorry, Nate, if you're watching. I probably messed that up. I'm sorry. Next question. Do you think you could talk him into a couples Q&A? What do you think, Nate? I'm sure you're watching this right now. So do you think you could ever do one? I don't know if he'll ever come on my channel. He's like, I don't know, he just doesn't like being filmed, but I would love to do a Q&A with him. So hopefully one day I can convince him. You guys should tell him in the comments that you want him in a video with me. Okay, last question. What are the goals for your channel? So I kind of touched on this in another video of mine, but my goal for this channel, I don't know, I never wanted to make a channel to like blow up and make a ton of money and make this my career. Like that has never, ever been my goal. The reason I started my YouTube channel is honestly because I was a mom, obviously. I was kind of in between being a stay-at-home mom and working, and I felt like I just was so lonely. I really feel like ever since I became a mom, I really struggled with making new friends and kind of finding a place and like feeling like I had a community or a space of friends. I really honestly for a very long time only had my sister, and thank God for my sister, but I really didn't have any friends because all of our friends didn't have young kids. So it really did feel lonely. You know, it's very isolating when you have kids, and I feel like a lot of people go through that, and it's something that is talked about more now, but I feel like it's not, I don't know, like nobody warns you about that before you have babies, you know? And it's just very isolating, especially being a stay-at-home mom. It's very difficult, and especially during this quarantine, obviously, it's just really hard. And I think being a mom and being a parent, for me, the hardest part is the mental toll that it takes on you from being isolated and feeling like you're missing out on things because you have your babies. And it's not a bad thing. Like, I love my babies. I love being there for them all the time. But it's hard, you know, to feel like, I don't know. You just feel like you're not involved in as much, and you're just very isolated and alone. So the reason I actually started watching a ton of YouTube before I created my channel of other moms like Erin Williams and I don't know, you know, a million other moms out there, just to kind of feel less alone. And then I decided to start my own channel to kind of build a community of people and just be there for each other. For the longest time, I really didn't have anybody but my sister. And thank God I had my sister, but I had no friends. And even now, I feel like I have really like 2 super close friends. And then I have some friends, like some girlfriends that I can text, and you know, they're there for me and like super cool, and I love them. But you know, I have like my sister and like really 2 good friends that I can count on, and that really understand and that are in the same part of life that I'm in, and just get it. I mean, it's hard when people around you they just don't really understand, you know, their kids are older, or maybe they don't have kids, or whatever the case may be. And I just know how it feels to feel so alone and to feel left out and to feel isolated, and I just don't want anybody else to feel that way, because it's hard. It's really hard. And I think kind of being in that state of feeling alone can really break you, and I just don't want anyone to feel that way because I know how hard it is and I know how sad it is. So I just want my channel to be kind of a place where people can come, get some enjoyment, get some laughs, I don't know, enjoy some content and feel less alone, because I don't want you to feel like that. So if you're feeling like that, I'm really sorry, and I hope that my videos can bring you some joy, and I know how that feels. I know it sucks. I'm right there with you, and we can get through this together. Another reason why I started my channel was for myself, honestly, for a hobby, for a creative outlet. I really felt like after I had my son, I put everything into being a mom, everything. I always wanted to be a mom ever since I was a little girl. And growing up, I did not have a very good mom. So I always wanted to be the opposite of that when I had a baby, you know? It like pushed me to want to be always there for my kids and just to give them everything. And I think that's great, and I think that's beautiful, and I don't regret that for a second. But I also feel like I didn't really realize that I was losing myself in the process, because I was giving 100% to him, and I was also trying to give to Nate and our relationship, and I was also, you know, working and trying to take care of dogs and trying to maintain relationships with my family and whatever else. And I was literally losing every part of me that makes me an individual. I wasn't really nurturing myself. I wasn't taking time for myself to work on myself, or even just giving myself like things like this where it doesn't include the kids. This is just for me. And that's important to me. And even now I don't have a ton of things that I do for myself, which as moms, we don't have a ton of time, and that's okay. But I do feel a lot better now that I have given myself some things to do just for me. And I love YouTube. It's such a fun hobby. And it's hard. It's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time that I don't really have, but I still try my best to make it a priority. My goal is always like 1 video a week, and I feel like I pretty much never hit that goal. But I try, and I push myself to sit down and make a video, even if I feel like I don't have enough time or whatever the case may be. I can come up with 5 billion excuses. My house is a literal SHIT show, and honestly, I don't even care. I don't have the energy to fix it, and I'd rather be here talking to you guys. So it's just important, and I encourage you guys out there, if you are a mom and you feel like you're burnt out and you feel like you don't have anything for yourself, I would encourage you to try and find something. Maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's not, maybe it's sewing, or maybe you buy a Cricut machine and do that. That's one thing that I really enjoyed. Maybe you tie-dye clothing, maybe you read a book, whatever it is, try and find something for an outlet for yourself, because it's so important as parents that we take time for ourselves to nurture ourselves so that we can be better parents to our kids. You can't be a good mom well, I shouldn't say you can't be a good mom. You can't be as good of a mom if you feel burnt out and like you're not doing anything for yourself. So that's the goal of this channel. I just want to create a safe community for other people to feel less alone and to have some fun and smile. And also my goal is just to continue on and make this a priority for myself so that I don't get lost in motherhood again, because there's a lot of days that even now still I feel pretty dang lost. But you guys help me so much, and I really appreciate all of you guys who take time to comment and watch my video and just comment back to me and talk with me, because literally that makes my day. I really feel like you guys are all my friends, and yeah, you guys really help me a lot more than you know. So that's all. Sorry for this long rambly video. As always, thank you to like the 2 people that left me questions. I love you guys. You are the real OGs, and you guys are the best ever. So with that being said, I have to go clean my dirty house now, and it's like, I don't know, 10 o'clock. So yeah, that's it for this video, and as always, I will see you guys next time. I'm gonna say in a week, but it's not gonna be a week, because you know me, and it'll probably be 2 weeks from now. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this. I love you guys always, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.